The race is on. Election season is in full swing. We've got updates on the upcoming debates and primaries.
Acorn employee Katherine Thompson is back from the happiest place on earth. We'll talk to the girls who helped get her there.
The rustic village hiding just half an hour away from ELN. We'll take you to Saxbaha.
All that and more coming up on ELN Morning.
Good morning, ELN. Thanks for starting your day in Studio A. I'm Paula Blanc.
And I'm Caroline Hartshorn. Paul and I and my ELN are your anchors for this spring semester. Today on the show, we are taking care of your heart with some tips to keep you healthy, as well as ways to impress your Valentine.
Let's start first with what's making headlines across the nation and around the world. Kenneth Brown Jr. is in the studio with this morning's top stories. Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, Caroline and Paul. While we might have taken a break, the news did not. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against the city of Ferguson, Missouri, after the city rejected a plan that would have brought major changes to its already troubled police department. The lawsuit alleges that law enforcement participated in, quote, racial discriminatory policing, end quote, and that First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments were violated. This lawsuit comes at the end of a year-long investigation and negotiation with Ferguson. All this after the death of Michael Brown, an unarmed African-American man who was shot by police officer Darren Wilson in 2014. He was never charged. And from 16 to 7, that is the number of candidates still running for the Republican nomination. The latest candidates to withdraw from the Republican race was New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and former Hewlett-Packard CEO Carly Fiorina. Both finished towards the bottom of the Tuesday's New Hampshire's primary. The race is far from over. We've got more in the upcoming debates and primary elections later in the show. And the CDC has announced that at least 66 people have the Zika virus in the United States, and China reported their first case yesterday. The Zika virus is a mosquito-borne disease that has been linked to causing birth defects. This virus has hit Central and South America the hardest, including the country of Brazil, the site of the 2016 Summer Olympics. This has brought up concerns and talks of whether athletes should skip the Olympics or if the Olympics should be held at all. So for the latest in news locally, nationally, I'm Kenneth Brown Jr., Carolina Paul, back to you.
Thanks, Kenneth. As he was saying, the Zika virus is also impacting ELN. With spring break coming up, many students are getting ready to go abroad, but some of the alternative break programs are being moved to the States because of the outbreak. Director of Study USA Mark Dahlhaus talked to us about the protocol of rerouting trips. He says a committee determines the threat level of the trip and adjusts the course to try to maintain the original focus of the trip. We'll continue to update you on which trips will be impacted on ELNLocalNews.com.
Now, I'm thinking about spring break, even though my walkover was freezing
I'm
this morning.
partly hoping for warmer weather, but at the same time, I could go for another snowstorm. Rachel Ellis is in downtown ELN with our Phoenix forecast. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Caroline and Paul. Well, the winter weather is here, and it looks like it's here to stay for at least a couple of days. The good news is the sun will be shining bright here in North Carolina today and Saturday, but that is not the case for tomorrow. There is a 70% chance of snow showers in the morning. Now, today and tomorrow are forecasted to be warmer than the upcoming days ahead, with a high of 40 degrees today and 38 degrees tomorrow, and lows both days in the early 20s. It will most definitely feel cold, but the winds are not as strong as they were yesterday, making that wind chill a bit warmer than yesterday. The weekend is going to be cooler. If you are venturing outside, grab a hat and a pair of gloves because we will be seeing a low of 11 degrees on Saturday. But don't fret, the temperature will make its way up to the late 20s by the afternoon. For the conclusion of your weekend, expect a low of 19 degrees and a high of 32 degrees on Sunday. And just in time to start another week at school or the office. There's an 80% chance of snow on Monday, with temperatures sustained in the high 20s all day. Live from downtown ELN, I'm Rachel Ellis, ELN Morning. Now back to you, Paul.
Thanks, Rachel. Checking back in with the 2016 campaign trail, the two leading Democrats in the race for the White House will be facing off at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee as CNN and PBS host a Democratic presidential primary debate tonight at 9. PBS Gwen Ifill and Judy Woodruff will be moderating the debate between Secretary Clinton and Senator Sanders. Bernie Sanders is fresh off of a landslide victory in New Hampshire as Hillary Clinton looks to retool and reshape her message to reach the voters she hasn't been connecting with. South Carolina's primaries are up next. Democrats are expected to vote the 20th, and Republicans head to the polls on the 27th.
The Flint water crisis in Michigan, which left hundreds of thousands of people with unsafe drinking water, may seem far away, but one ELN group is finding a way to help without leaving the bubble. Douglas Spencer, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity's president, says that oftentimes we take things like water for granted. Alpha Phi Alpha is a fraternity founded for service and a love for all mankind, which they are showing through helping those in the Flint water crisis.
We just feel like if people really knew more about the situation, they would think, hey, we're fortunate, but not just that we're fortunate, that we should really be not resting easy, but helping those residents because they should have the same luxuries we have here.
Alpha Phi Alpha is hosting a profit share tonight from 5 to 9 p.m. at Bricks Oven Pizza in Owlman's Crossing. Spencer hopes the fundraiser can do more than provide financial support for the people of Flint.
We want it to not just be a profit share. We want to organize a discussion or a program, some way for ELN students to really feel the impact of, or bring it home. We want ELN students to know that this isn't just in Flint. This is something that affects us as Americans and that we should be citizens of our country.
The Brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha hope the profit share won't be the end and are looking for people who want to help raise awareness of the problem.
This month is Black History Month, but what does that mean in this day and age? Our Jackie Pascal spoke to one student who is making history modern.
It was the history class they should have had, but they didn't because of systematic exclusion of people of color.
ELN senior Tony Weaver says Black History Month isn't just a time to reflect on the past, but gauge how race plays a role in our lives today. He founded Weird Enough Productions to shift the spotlight onto minorities, specifically African-American males, and change their perception.
We're going to look at stereotypes in the media. We're going to look at how African-American males are portrayed right now. And we're going to say, what can we do in order to shift that perception? So that the next time I go and volunteer in elementary school, when I talk to a student, the way that they see themselves will be in a more positive way, a more uplifting way.
In ELN's class of 2019, only 6% of students identify as African American. The Center for Race, Ethnicity, and Diversity Education is working to open up the conversation no matter your ethnicity.
Even though this is Black History Month, everyone has a voice in the conversations and the discussions that are going on this month. And I always say, kind of like a running theme when I'm talking to students this month, is stretch yourself.
All month long, the Creed is hosting events, and Weird Enough Productions has a social media campaign surrounding Black history in the making.
It doesn't have to be, hey, let's look 100 years in the past. There are things that are happening right now, exciting things that are going on, trails that are being blazed, barriers that are being broken down. And we really wanted to call out to those people and mention those people that are down in the trenches doing the important work today.
Jackie Pascal, ELN Local News.
You can find Weird Enough Productions content on all forms of social media and look out for their daily posts all month of modern Black figures that are making history.
We're more than a month into the new year. We see if ELN students are keeping up with their New Year's resolutions. 2 months out from the new year, and we checked in with a few people on campus to get an update on their New Year's resolutions.
Basically, my New Year's resolution was to get more money, more income, and be more responsible with my money. So, got a job here at the university and doing better with my life and doing better things, so hopefully I can keep going.
To have a better holistic health, like wellness, everything. Sleep, food, physically, mentally, everything.
While some have stuck with or even already completed their New Year's resolutions, others haven't been as successful.
My New Year's resolution was to stop binge watching Netflix, and it's going really bad. I'm still watching a lot of Netflix.
This year I didn't have a New Year's resolution, but in the previous years I have, and that was to enjoy my quality of life more and help others do the same.
There are many reasons for why students can't keep up with their New Year's resolutions, including classes and the multiple activities that students are a part of.
I think that people lose their New Year's resolution because they set too high of a goal and then they realize it's not realistic as the year goes by and they just stop doing it.
I've actually been keeping up with my New Year's resolution of eating healthier.
ELN psychology professor Dr. Alan Scott says there are a few roadblocks that keep us from completing our resolutions. Lacking motivation, setting overly ambitious goals, and expecting a lot of progress in a short amount of time can make people leave their resolutions behind. So set mini goals and keep yourself motivated with small rewards along the way. ELN Morning, Ben Driscoll.
The Valentine's Day was Sunday. I've got you covered with gift and date ideas in this week's College Consumer.
Taylor Zitschholtz and Lucy Smith-Williams are here to tell us about their trip to Disney. You're watching ELN Morning. Valentine's Day is this Sunday, and if you're like me, your busy schedule or empty wallet could be keeping you from being prepared. Luckily, we've got our Avik Bhargave in the studio with this week's Valentine's Day themed College Consumer. Good morning, Avik.
Good morning, Caroline. Valentine's Day is one of the most romantic days in the year, but it's also one of the most expensive. On average, the National Retail Federation says Americans celebrating the holiday spend an average of just under $150. This is a tough pill for people to swallow because you want to be the caring partner or friend, but you also want to stay inside your budget. Oftentimes, the most expensive part of the night ends up being the gift. We're in college, so trips to the local jewelry store likely aren't an option, but department stores are. Don't knock Target or CVS. Animals, candy, chocolate, all the essentials can be found in one place, and the candy quality doesn't change. It's really the thought that counts when you hand someone a stuffed animal. And one of the best gifts you can give someone on Valentine's Day is a good card. If you're still at the department store, then you can pick up one there, but making a handmade and heartfelt card is a home run every time. If you're not the best with words, you can print out a picture with you and your sweetheart with a nice note and put it on the back and then put it inside your card. Finally, Valentine's Day dinner. If you don't have a car, you can stay in, and stay-in dinners can really help show your romantic side. Cook some food, get some fake dorm-friendly candles, and set the mood right. If you're really trying to surprise your Valentine, gamble on a wild card night. Take your date to a dinner and a show. ELN students are performing the Vagina Monologues on Sunday, and it's only $5. Might catch your date off guard, but hey, it's funny, thoughtful, and cheap. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Caroline.
Thanks, Avik. And if you want to start this Valentine's Day off on a high note, one of ELN's all-male a cappella group, Ripcord, will be selling a cappellograms to send to someone special. Stop by Ripcord's Mosley table today or tomorrow between 10 and 3 p.m. to choose a time, a location, and a song for your serenade. You can get one a cappellagram for $15 or two for $20. February is Heart Health Awareness Month. Our Maya Eaglin talked to some knowledgeable members of our community to see what students can do to promote heart health.
According to the American Heart Association, heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women in the United States. Pre-med student Alexis Michigan says that it is never too early to start monitoring your own heart health.
Heart health is something that starts from the minute you're born. Your heart works every day, all day, and it's something that we think, oh, heart health, heart disease, that's something that when I'm older I have to deal with. But it's something that we affect now, and our choices now affect our future.
Student Katie Karowski also reminds us to keep in mind heart health sometimes has to do with family history.
I feel like if you have a family history of it, you're aware of it. So I feel like eating a good diet, making sure you're staying active and working out, and like getting some physical activity is important. That way it can help you maintain a healthy heart.
University physician Dr. Archinal encourages students to keep a healthy lifestyle by remaining active and eating healthy.
Think of your heart not as a separate organ, it's part of your whole body, and the human body doesn't act in bits, it acts as a whole. So what's good for the heart's good for the brain, it's good for the legs, and vice versa.
So whether your heart is beating from exercise or from your Valentine, get your heart rate up this February. Maya Eaglin, ELN Morning.
You and your family are going to Disney World.
A story that's been touching our hearts all year. Catherine Thompson, the Acorn employee who got the trip of a lifetime thanks to the help of the ELN community, is back from her trip to Disney World with her family. Taylor Zitschholtz and Lucy Smith-Williams started the fundraiser and are here to tell us about their time with Catherine in Disney World and on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Happy to be back and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, so tell me about Disney. How was it being with Catherine? How was your experience? I want to hear about it.
It was such a happy place to begin with, and you put a dream come true right in front of you, and it was incredible to see and be there and just feel their excitement and warmth, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great just joining their family and surprising them.
Were they really excited?
They were shocked.
Super excited.
I talked to them an hour before that, and they said, okay, have a good day at ELN, and then they saw me an hour later, so it was great.
That's awesome. That's like something that's just unforgettable. So how does this turn you into how does this change who you are? How does this make you a better person, this whole experience that you've gone through?
I don't think it makes us better people, but I think it just really made us feel so good about what we could do to just brighten up a deserving woman's life and her family's life. And I hope the message that people get is not about us, but about how simple it is to show a light on other people.
Exactly. It's taught us both a lot about just how that kind of simple act of kindness is so important, and it brings so many people together that you wouldn't even imagine.
Right, and I know that Ellen, her motto is to be kind to one another, so she was just like over the moon. What was your experience like on that show?
It was really eye-opening, I think. Ellen is one of my idols, and I think she's an amazing person, so it was really exciting to meet her. And just having the three of us together, we were all a little bit nervous, of course, being on national television, but we all just took care of each other and we're really supportive.
And so how's your relationship with each other changed, and maybe your relationship with Catherine? What's like the dynamic now?
It's just, we started off as complete strangers. We're 2 years apart, and now we were on a roller coaster ride, the likes of which I've never been on with my best friend. So it's been amazing, and to have her by my side and in it together.
Okay, and then that's one last question. Is Ellen as funny on TV as she is in person?
Yes, definitely.
She was very warm and genuine, and yes, she's great.
Thanks so much, guys. And if you need a place for a Valentine's date this weekend, look no further than Saxe-Baja.
Today is National Inventors Day. Our Connor McCoy found one student who's only a couple steps away from making her company a reality.
Some students don't know what they'll be doing after graduation, but for students like Madison Tamblin, they have a plan.
So I'm the CEO of Mad Dog Heat Sleeve, which basically is a coffee sleeve that I've developed which will keep your coffee hot for up to 3 hours.
As the sole owner and employee of Mad Dog Heat Sleeve, Tamlin says the idea for the company stemmed from her own frustration of wasting money for coffee to go cold before she could drink it. Once she had the idea, she started on the early sketches.
I've pivoted a lot throughout the whole process, so originally starting with something that went into your coffee, then something from the bottom of the cup, many different areas around the cup.
When the product is finally out, it'll look something like this. All you have to do is slide the cup in, like so, and it'll keep your drink warm for up to 3 hours. With the design done and a prototype ready, Mad Dog's pivotal moment came last month when Tamlin won an elevator pitch contest in California, earning her a trophy and professional contacts to help her business thrive after college. And with the award in hand, Tamlin looks towards the future for her company.
I'm from North Carolina, so I want to start the business local in Raleigh. There's one coffee distributor specifically that I'm already working with, and I'm hoping to roll it out to their customers immediately.
Tamlin hopes by this time next year, you may have the Mad Dog Heat Sleeve on your cup of joe. Connor McCoy, ELN Local News.
And before we say goodbye, if you're looking for something fun to do this weekend, grab a few friends and head down to Saxe-Baja, where our Meredith Stutz had a tour with the unofficial mayor of that charming village.
Nestled along the banks of the Haw River between Burlington and Chapel Hill, North Carolina, lies the village of Saxe-Baja. Centered around what was once a rundown mill, is now being given new life. Among the 1,600 who call Saxe-Baja home, there are those who are committed to its restoration, including Heather Lagarde. After growing up in the area, Heather and her husband Tom, a former NBA player who played college ball in the state, moved to Saxe-Baja from New York in 2004 with their young children.
This beautiful, faraway, magical river place, you know, and loving the beautifulness of this, just the physical part of Saxe-Baja, which is a river-based tiny historic village and beautiful. I just fell in love with it. I mean, I am often accused of being in love with a village, and I am in love with a village.
After walking around with her, you could tell the village loves her too.
You okay? How's the foot? That guy waving, he and his boyfriend.
There's my other mom.
When we were walking around today, people love you. You're like a celebrity.
No, I'm really not. If you were walking around with anybody in Saxba, you would see that everybody loves each other like that. I love that in this town more people blow kisses than wave.
It's not just her friendliness that makes her so loved, but what she and Tom did to help restore Saxbaha.
Saving old buildings that people were going to knock down or burn down, we were like, don't do it, we'll save it.
Heather continued to preserve Saxbaha's architecture until one day, she says, she stumbled upon an old abandoned dye room and cotton mill.
Wow, the place is just decrepit. What will they ever do with that place?
But in 2011, that decrepit place was restored and opened as the Haw River Ballroom.
The ballroom became real in that moment. It was finally what we've been trying to get to but hadn't been able to envision, this big sweeping open space that really was about performance. And I think that's the day the real ballroom was born.
She and Tom also installed a corner coffee shop by day and ballroom by night for concerts and events.
How much did it cost for the ballroom to come about?
It's really hard to put a figure on that, and the reason I'll just really say to you, whenever we have said that, we've ended up having a major issue with someone, so we're trying to not talk about that. I guess what I say is, it was very expensive to do this, and it was all out of philanthropic love.
Because of this, Heather says she holds a day job in international affairs to help with the bills, but still has sought creative ways to raise money for visiting artists.
We use a big swan bucket to collect the money, and I'm better known as the Swan Lady.
So it's a fabulous space, and she manages it really well, and brings love here.
Despite her family building a stage for Saxbaha to shine, she prefers a life and legacy out of the spotlight.
So if you don't want to be known as Heather the celebrity,
No.
what do you want to be known as?
Just Heather the Swan Lady is just fine, or just the Swan Lady.
I cannot believe Saxbaha is only a half hour away, and I've never been.
Me either, and this is perfect. You should go for Valentine's Day.
Well, I would
take a road trip.
Yeah, it's
hang
nice
out.
and easy, half an hour, and all those tips that Avik gave us. I mean,
so
is that going to affect your plans at all?
Well, I asked Avik if he wanted to be my Valentine's, and he said yes. So I'm going to get that stuffed animal at the end of the show. No, but yeah, he has some really good tips, and it's hard to be a college student and have a Valentine's Day because you can't really afford those romantic dinners. You can't. It's just expensive.
It's an expensive holiday.
With gifts and all the things, just too much. So I like just the calm dinner. Go to Lakeside, it's a swipe.
Colonnades, it's nice and easy. It sneaks up on me every single year. It's that one holiday.
Yep.
Christmas, I know 2 months out.
Right.
Everything, but Valentine's Day.
Because you think that the 14th is way down the road, but it's smack dab middle of February. Right. So it just comes too fast.
Just sneaks up.
Do you have any plans?
I wasn't really thinking about it too much, but now Avik's got me going, so I think I'll have to put something together last minute. What about you?
Honestly, because it's a Sunday, I feel like that's always my day to do homework and do work and meetings and stuff. So it might just be that lakeside dinner I mentioned.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's gonna be a relaxed day. Let's hope.
And then just maybe a handwritten card, hey, happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, exactly. Nice
See you tomorrow.
Yeah,
that kind of
absolutely. And the vagina monologues are coming up, so that was also another great suggestion.
That was a really good suggestion from Avik.
It sounds like a lot of fun. I read the ENET article on it, and now that you told me about it, I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
I went to it last year. It's actually really awesome. I had a couple of friends who did it, and they're it's actually an amazing show, and for $5.
Those performers are incredible.
Yeah, they work hard too for it.
Yeah, they work so hard, and they put it on just for us. I mean, you gotta go.
That's definitely, I would do that. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Is that weird?
That's a great show.
Okay.
It's gonna be
all
fun.
right, let's
absolutely.
go for it.
Well, that is all we have for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in to ELN Morning.
Be sure to keep up with us on social media by following us at ELN Morning and on Facebook and on Twitter.
And we're always online at elonlocalnews.com.
Have a great day, Elon.